Welcome back, my amazing coin lovers and treasure hunters. Today we are stepping into one of the most exciting discoveries in the world of numismatics, a world where a simple 5-cent Liberty 1991 USA coin can transform from an ordinary nickel you might pass around without thinking into an extraordinary rarity worth an unbelievable $975,000 million. A value so shocking and unimaginable that it instantly captures attention and curiosity. In today's long and deeply detailed journey, we will talk about how such a small coin can become one of the most valuable pieces ever known, how errors, unexpected mint mistakes, rare anomalies, unusual striking accidents, and mysterious mint mark irregularities all combine to create something so unique that collectors around the world would compete fiercely just for the chance to own it. So welcome everyone, sit back, relax, and prepare yourself for a long exploration into the beauty, the mystery, and the mind-blowing value hidden inside the 5-cent Liberty 1991 USA coin. Imagine holding a nickel from 1991 in your hand. To most people it's simply a 5-cent piece, an everyday coin with the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and the iconic Monticello building on the reverse. Millions of these coins were produced and circulated widely, passing through pockets, cash registers, and jars across the nation. Yet what sets a certain small group of 1991 nickels apart is something much deeper, something unexpected, something that transforms them from common to unbelievably rare, something that starts with the way the coin is struck, the machinery used, the condition of the dies, and the unpredictable moment when metal meets force inside the mint. This is where errors are born, where the extraordinary hides within the ordinary, where a simple oversight, mechanical misalignment, or production difference can turn a tiny coin into a $1 million legend. One of the most powerful factors that elevates the 1991 Liberty nickel to extreme value is the double die error. A double die occurs not during the striking of the coin itself but during the preparation of the die that will strike thousands of coins afterward. When the die receives its design from the hub, if the hub impression shifts even slightly between presses, the resulting die carries two overlapping images. Every coin minted with this flawed die inherits the doubling, making the details appear slightly duplicated. On the 1991 nickel, this doubling can appear on Jefferson's eye, chin, lips, the word Liberty, the date 1991, or the motto "In God We Trust." On the reverse side, the doubling can show up on Monticello's steps, columns, the dome, or the inscriptions United States of America and 5 cents. The stronger and clearer the doubling, the more valuable the coin becomes, because bold doubling is extremely rare and easily noticeable even without magnification. Another major category of errors that make this coin incredibly valuable is the off-center strike. Mistakes happen when the blank metal disc, called the planchet, is not perfectly aligned inside the striking chamber. If the planchet shifts to the side when it is struck, part of the design lands off the coin or appears skewed. A 1991 Liberty nickel struck off-center by 10%, 20%, or even more can be very valuable. But a coin struck 40%, 50%, or 60% off-center while still showing a complete date becomes extremely rare, highly desirable, and dramatically more valuable. Off-center nickels with clear dates are premium pieces that collectors chase aggressively, and when combined with a mint mark variance or doubling, the value skyrockets even more. Broad strike errors add another fascinating layer. Broad strikes occur when the retaining collar that shapes the edge of the coin fails to hold the planchet in place during striking. Without the collar, the metal expands outward, creating a wider, flatter coin. A 1991 nickel with a broad strike error appears stretched and slightly misshapen, but the details remain sharp. When a broad strike merges with another error, such as doubling or off-center striking, the coin becomes dramatically more exceptional. These combinations are not only rare but stunning to look at, and collectors pay premium amounts for such beautiful anomalies. Clipped planchet errors also contribute to the incredible value of certain 1991 nickels. These errors occur when the blank metal sheet is punched incorrectly during planchet production, leading to coins with missing portions along the rim. A curved clip, straight clip, ragged clip, or elliptical clip can all appear. A clipped planchet combined with a clear date and strong details transforms a regular nickel into a rare collectible. When the clipped planchet also carries doubling or something unusual with the mint mark, the rarity of the coin becomes extraordinary. Another major contributor to this coin's explosive value is mint mark errors. In 1991, both Philadelphia P and Denver D produced nickels, and mint marks were still punched into the dies by hand before final hubbing was fully standardized. This creates possibilities for unusual mint mark shapes, misaligned mint marks, repunched mint marks, shallow mint marks, or mint marks that appear doubled, tripled, extremely tilted, or unusually bold. A repunched mint mark on a 1991 nickel is already rare. But when the repunching creates a visually striking effect like a shadow behind the P or D, or a clear doubling, the collector demand becomes intense. When combined with a double die on the obverse or reverse, the value increases exponentially. Die cracks and cuds are another category of errors that elevate this coin's importance. A die crack happens when the die used to strike the coin develops fractures from repeated use. These cracks create raised lines of metal on the coin's surface. A cud is even more dramatic, occurring when part of the die breaks away completely, leaving a blank, raised blob of metal on the coin. A 1991 nickel with a large cud on Jefferson's jawline, the rim, or Monticello's architecture is incredibly desirable. Every cud is unique, meaning no two coins struck from that broken die look exactly the same, giving each cud coin an identity and rarity incomparable to regular issue pieces. Double strike errors are among the most dramatic. A double strike occurs when the coin is struck twice, either because it jumps between strikes or fails to eject from the press properly. A double-struck 1991 nickel with one impression fully visible and another rotated or shifted creates an image that appears ghost-like or shadowed. These are visually impressive, highly prized errors. When the secondary strike overlaps Jefferson's portrait or Monticello in a way that preserves the full date, the value becomes extraordinary. Wrong planchet errors are extremely rare but possible. A wrong planchet error means the coin was struck on metal intended for another denomination. A 1991 Liberty nickel mistakenly struck on a penny planchet, a dime planchet, or a foreign planchet would be incredibly valuable. Such coins have different weights, different thicknesses, and often show incomplete designs due to the mismatch in size. These mistakes are extremely rare and highly sought after, especially in mint state condition. Speaking of condition, the grading of the coin plays a massive role in determining value. Error coins found in circulated condition are still collectible, but those preserved in near-perfect condition with sharp details, brilliant luster, and minimal marks are exponentially more desirable. A rare error combined with mint state quality can turn a valuable coin into a near-priceless one. For a 1991 Liberty nickel to reach a worth of $975,000 million, it would likely need to be a once-in-a-lifetime error coin in stunning condition, with multiple anomalies layered together in a way rarely seen in numismatics. Another piece of the value puzzle is rarity within rarity. For example, a coin with a single error can be rare, but a coin with 2, 3, or even 4 simultaneous errors becomes almost unbelievably unique. A double die with an off-center strike, a repunched mint mark, and a broad strike combined with a dramatic die crack could exist as a single specimen out of hundreds of millions of nickels minted that year. Such a combination becomes so special that no other coin can rival it. This is where theoretical values reach legendary levels. The historical context further enriches the story. The early 1990s were a period where the U.S. Mint was transitioning through various mechanical improvements while dealing with high production demand. With millions of coins produced daily, the slightest misalignment or overlooked die flaw could result in coins that escaped detection and entered circulation. At the time, error coins were not as widely recognized by the public, meaning rare pieces could have slipped through unnoticed until discovered decades later by collectors, metal detectorists, or simply by curious individuals examining their change carefully. Collectors today understand how unlikely it is to find such extraordinary error coins from high production years like 1991. This rarity fuels demand. When even one groundbreaking example surfaces, it generates massive excitement, news coverage, and competitive bidding at auctions. Stories of collectors finding rare coins in pocket change inspire others to check every coin carefully, hoping to become the next lucky discoverer of a million-dollar anomaly. Another layer of fascination is the emotional and historical connection. My great treasure hunters, my coin collectors, my history lovers and seekers of hidden value, today you are going to hear a story that will stay in your mind for a very long time, a story about how a simple 5 cents Liberty 1996 D USA coin can carry a value so massive, so unbelievable, so far beyond its tiny denomination that it shocks even experienced collectors. I welcome you all to a journey where we explore how this ordinary-looking nickel hides the possibility of being worth $970,000 million, an amount that transforms it from a piece of pocket change into an object of fascination, mystery, and incredible financial potential. So sit with me, relax, and get ready for a long, detailed, immersive exploration that will open your eyes to the secrets and billion-level possibilities buried inside the 1996 D Liberty nickel. Imagine pulling out a handful of coins from your drawer or the pocket of your jeans. You see a nickel, a 5-cent piece with Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello on the reverse, just like every other nickel you've handled thousands of times before. It looks ordinary. It feels ordinary. But what if one coin in that handful carries an error so rare, so dramatic, so unique, that collectors around the world would fight for it, not just with passion, but with money beyond what most people will ever see in their lifetime? This is the miracle and mystery of the 1996 D Liberty nickel. Most coins from this year are common, everyday, and abundant. But a tiny number contain errors that slip through unnoticed, only to become unimaginable treasures decades later. Error coins have always captured the imagination of collectors because they represent accidents that should not have happened. They are the coins that escape the precision of the mint, the coins that tell a story of machinery, pressure, speed, and unexpected deviation. In the case of the 1996 D nickel, the potential errors that elevate its value to $970,000 million come from a combination of double dies, off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, die cracks, cuds, wrong planchet strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, die deterioration patterns, and dramatic multi-error combinations that are so rare they exist only as isolated miracles. One of the most extraordinary possibilities is the double die. When the die that strikes the coin receives its design from the hub, the die needs multiple impressions to fully capture the details. If the hub shifts between impressions, the die ends up with doubled details. This doubling is then transferred to every coin struck from that die. On the 1996 D nickel, doubling can appear in Jefferson's eye, his lips, his jawline, the word liberty, the date 1996, and the motto "In God We Trust." On the reverse, it can show up in the steps of Monticello, the columns, the dome, the lettering 5 cents and United States of America. A strong double die is extremely rare in modern nickels, and the rarity alone multiplies the coin's value dramatically, but even more fascinating than doubling are the dramatic off-center errors. Off-center errors occur when the planchet is not perfectly aligned in the striking chamber. An off-center strike that cuts off part of the design but still shows the date is worth exponentially more than those without dates. A 1996 D nickel struck 30% off-center is already valuable. One struck 50% off-center with a clear date becomes rare beyond imagination. But the true multi-million-dollar potential lies in coins that combine off-center striking with a double die, a repunched mint mark, or a broad strike. A coin like that becomes a once-in-a-generation rarity. Repunched mint marks add another layer of mystery and value. In 1996, mint marks had already been applied directly to the die rather than punched by hand like earlier years, but repunching still occurred in some transitional cases. A repunched D mint mark from Denver that shows doubling, shadowing, tilting, or misalignment becomes extremely valuable. Add doubling on the obverse or reverse, and you now have a coin that defies expectation and skyrockets in value. Then there are die cracks, one of the most visually dramatic types of errors. As dies age and strike thousands of coins, tiny fractures form in the metal. These fractures transfer to the coin as raised lines. A severe die crack across Jefferson's face, neck, or hairline becomes a collectible piece, but a major cud when a part of the die literally breaks off transforms a coin into a near-priceless rarity. A cud on the rim, a cud on Monticello's dome, or a cud near the mint mark becomes a striking, unmistakable collector's treasure. The larger the cud, the rarer and more valuable the coin becomes. Double strikes are another powerful category. A double strike means the coin was struck once and then struck again when it shifted slightly, rotated slightly, or remained stuck in the press. A clear second impression creates a ghost image effect, and such coins are so visually impressive that collectors consider them complete masterpieces of minting error. If the second strike is rotated dramatically, the value increases even more. Wrong planchet errors are some of the rarest in all of numismatics. A 1996 D nickel struck on a penny planchet, dime planchet, or even a foreign planchet would be incredibly valuable. These coins weigh differently, look different, and often show incomplete designs because the planchet is too small or too thin. Wrong planchet errors are extremely rare and often sell for huge amounts, even without other mistakes. But combine a wrong planchet error with a visible mint mark anomaly or doubling, and you create a coin that collectors worship. Broad strike errors also bring uniqueness. A broad strike occurs when the retaining collar fails to hold the coin during the strike, allowing metal to expand outward. The coin becomes wider, flatter, and slightly distorted. A broad strike coin with a clean date and mint mark is already valuable, but one with doubling or a repunched mint mark becomes a legendary piece. Clipped planchet errors contribute too. A curved clip, straight clip, ragged clip, or incomplete planchet mistake can produce a coin that collectors immediately recognize as rare. A 1996 D nickel with a large curved clip and strong details could command thousands or millions depending on condition and combination with other errors, and this brings us to condition, one of the most decisive factors in value. A rare error in poor condition is still valuable, but a rare error in mint state condition with strong luster, sharp details, and minimal contact marks becomes priceless. Grading companies play a huge role in establishing such values. A top-grade specimen of a dramatic multi-error coin could reach heights that seem unimaginable, especially when there is no other known example. Collectors crave uniqueness. They chase the impossible, the unexpected, the unrepeatable. An ordinary 1996 D nickel is common. But a 1996 D nickel with an impossible blend of doubling, off-center striking, mint mark anomalies, broad strike expansion, die crack formation, or wrong planchet striking becomes the stuff of numismatic legend. When a coin reaches such uniqueness that it stands alone, with no exact match in existence, its value becomes theoretically infinite because collectors are willing to pay enormous amounts for singularity. This is how a 5-cent Liberty 1996 D coin can be believed capable of reaching $970,000 million in value when considered as the most extreme possible example. A coin with multiple errors, a coin that defies expectations, a coin that exists as one of a kind, a coin that collectors dream about, a coin that represents the perfect collision of mistake and miracle.